Welcome to another episode of the Unstarving Musician. I am Robonzo. This is my podcast. Here, I have conversations with independent music artists and music industry professionals, and sometimes it's just me. Today is one of those days, one of those episodes, just me. Today, I'm diving into a critical topic that affects every one of us in the music industry, which is mental health and well-being. The episode is based on a recent edition of liner notes, which you can learn more about at unstarvingmusician.com/liner notes and in the show notes for this episode. So I will dive right in. I will start with this persistent myth about the suffering artist. This idea that great art only comes from pain and struggle is just not true. Granted, some great art comes from those who are pained and struggled, but recent examples are showing us that this just isn't true. In fact, prioritizing well-being might be the key to sustainable success in music. So you need not suffer. There are real challenges for musicians, though. We're under constant pressure to maintain quality output, keep up a positive public image, and meet the expectations of fans, labels, managers, and agents in many cases. Add touring and disrupted sleep schedules plus physical demands, and you have a recipe for burnout. But here's the thing. Artists who are speaking up about these types of challenges and setting boundaries are not damaging their careers. They're actually strengthening their careers and their connections with fans. So take a couple of singers, take a pop singer that I recently read about, Lizzy McAlpine, for example. She made some bold moves with her tour restructure in the recent past that prioritized her well-being. She eliminated opening acts to ensure reasonable bedtimes. She built in recovery days between shows, planned routes with mental health in mind, and set clear expectations with fans about show times. So her success, which you can read about in an article by Gallery Review Europe, and there will be a link in the show notes for this. Her success demonstrates that taking care of yourself is not career limiting, and it's essential for long-term sustainability in music. And no matter where your career is, I've already mentioned a lot of facets of a music career that may not apply to you, but if you're trying to play music and you're trying to play it sustainably, you're trying to incorporate it into a big part of your life, a lot of this stuff is going to apply to you. In fact, I would say all of it will apply to you. So there's an emotional cycle that comes with performing, and especially performing at a high level. It can produce post-show low state. I've kind of gone through that just at the level that I perform at, which is really just like in local venues, occasional mini tour now and again. But we can manage this with intentional planning. In another interview that McAlpine did, she talks about reimagining her tours for well-being. So she did things like she works on the show scheduling all the way up to travel planning. All of the pressures that I'm talking about here can contribute to a wide range of mental health challenges, including anxiety, depression, and substance abuse. And I can say I've dealt a little bit or to some degree with all of those things. I'm lucky in that none of these things have ever been super serious for me, but I know that's not the case for all of us. Planning and boundaries are important. We should specify availability and communication preferences and create strategies for protecting our personal space. Let's talk about applying boundaries in different contexts. So considerations in these different contexts can include digital presence, professional relationships with collaborators, relationships with industry contacts, fan engagement, and management of our support network. The singer that I mentioned earlier, Lizzy McAlpine, she offers a masterclass in setting expectations through her tour modifications. So I encourage you to check out that Gallery Review Europe article, and there again will be a link in the show notes. Then there's public scrutiny through social media, and it is significant. Being transparent about mental health challenges can actually be very helpful. Setting boundaries can strengthen fan relationships. This challenges the common fear that setting boundaries will harm one's career, but the opposite is in fact true. Okay, for our Liner Notes Insider subscribers, we go much deeper into specific strategies for setting and maintaining boundaries, managing digital presence, and navigating relationships in the music industry. If you're interested in getting access to that expanded content, head over to unstarvingmusician.com/liner notes. But let me share one practical tip that can help everyone right now, and that is learning to say no. Learning to say no is paramount to protecting your time and energy. Here's a simple exercise you can try. Review your calendar from last year and create 2 columns. One for energy draining events and another for energy giving events or things that you engaged in. Use that energy draining column as a guide for what to avoid this year or in the year ahead, what you're going to say no to. But remember, setting boundaries in music careers isn't just about saying no. It's about creating space to say yes to what really matters. When we communicate our boundaries professionally and consistently, we often discover that clear limits lead to stronger connections with our audiences and more sustainable careers. Believe me, everyone is willing to wait for you. The world will not collapse by setting boundaries and having people wait as long as you set good expectations. And that is it for today's episode. Pretty quick. If you found this valuable, please subscribe to the podcast and consider joining us as a Liner Notes Insider for deep dives into topics like this. Just go to unstarvingmusician.com/liner notes to learn more about that. And these are both ways you can support the podcast, but you can learn about other ways of supporting the podcast at our crowd sponsor page at, you guessed it, unstarvingmusician.com/crowd sponsor. You can find all the links to things I talked about and some related stuff, including related episodes, in the show notes at unstarvingmusician.com. And did you know Bandzoogle has everything you need to promote and sell your music, keep your supporters informed, and sell merch? Bandzoogle also has EPK templates, crowdfunding templates, email and social features for staying connected with your fans, and a lot more. You can visit bandzoogle.com and use the promo code Robonzo, ROBONZO, to get 15% off your first year. And nothing has grown my audience like Kit email marketing. It has outpaced my efforts on social media by far. Kit, formerly ConvertKit, is an email marketing and audience building software that helps musicians like you turn your passion into a full-time career by connecting you and your fans much faster. You can start a free trial at unstarvingmusician.com/convert. And if you want to learn about more of our partners and more resources that I put together and some deals through our partners, you can visit our resources page at unstarvingmusician.com/resources. All right. Thank you very much for listening. I appreciate you and look forward to speaking with you again. Peace, love, and a whole lot of gratitude.